You've been studying for hours. Your notes are highlighted, your laptop's open, coffee's cold. But if someone asked you right now what you actually learned, you'd blank. Here's the brutal truth. You're not studying wrong because you're lazy. You're studying wrong because no one taught you the system. Before we continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the follow button. Now let's move on. I'm Kelly, and I spent 3 years grinding 8-hour study sessions that left me with nothing but burnout and average grades. Then I found something that changed everything. It's called the compound focus system, and it's the reason I went from rereading the same chapter 5 times to actually retaining what I learned on the first pass. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly why most study methods fail and show you the 3-step framework that top performers use to make every study session actually count. No fluff, no generic, just focus harder advice. This is the system I wish someone had shown me on day 1. Let's climb. The problem: why traditional studying fails. Here's what most of us do. We sit down, open the textbook, start reading, maybe highlight a few things, reread it when we don't get it. Then we close the book and hope it's stuck. Sound familiar? Here's why that doesn't work. Your brain isn't a hard drive. You can't just download information by staring at it. Learning happens in 3 distinct phases, and if you skip even one, nothing sticks. Phase 1, input clarity. Phase 2, processing loops. Phase 3, output testing. Most students only do Phase 1. They consume information but never process or test it. It's like eating food but never digesting it. You're full, but you're not getting any nutrients. And here's the kicker: the quality of your input determines everything that comes after. If your input is scattered, your retention will be scattered. If your input is clear, your learning compounds. That's where the system starts. Step 1, input clarity. Study with intention, not volume. Before you read a single page, you need to answer 3 questions. What exactly am I trying to learn? Why does this matter? How will I know I've learned it? Let me show you the difference. Bad input: I need to study chapter 5. Clear input: I need to understand how supply and demand affect pricing, so I can explain it in my own words and apply it to a real-world example by the end of this session. See the difference? One is vague, the other is a mission. Here's how to do this in 60 seconds before every study session. Write down the one concept you're learning today, why it matters to your exam, your career, your life, how you'll test yourself on it later. This is called intention mapping, and it does 2 things. First, it activates your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters what's important. Second, it gives your brain a clear target instead of wandering through pages aimlessly. Most people skip this because it feels like extra work, but this 60 seconds will save you hours of rereading. Trust me. Step 2, processing loops. Turn input into understanding. Okay, you've got clarity. Now you're reading or watching a lecture. Here's where most people fail. They consume but never process. Reading isn't learning. Watching isn't understanding. Processing is what turns information into knowledge. Here's the loop you need to run after every major concept. Consume, read or watch the material. Reflect, pause, ask, what did I just learn? Simplify, explain it in one sentence like you're teaching a 10-year-old. Connect, link it to something you already know. Let me give you a real example. Let's say you're learning about photosynthesis. Consume, you read that plants convert sunlight into energy. Reflect, okay, so plants basically eat light. Simplify. Photosynthesis is how plants turn sunlight into food using chlorophyll. Connect. It's like how my body turns food into energy, but for plants, it's sunlight. This takes 30 seconds per concept, but it's the difference between memorizing facts and actually understanding them. And understanding is what compounds. Because once you understand something, you can apply it, remix it, and build on it. That's when learning gets fast. Step 3, output testing. Prove you actually know it. Here's the final step most people skip, and it's the most important. You don't know something until you can retrieve it from memory without help. Rereading your notes doesn't count. Highlighting doesn't count. Watching a video twice doesn't count. You need to test yourself. Here's how. Close the book, open a blank page, and write everything you remember. No peeking. Struggle is good. That's your brain building new pathways. If you can't remember something, that's not failure, that's feedback. Go back, review that specific part, then test yourself again. This is called active recall,
and science proves it's the fastest way to lock information into long-term memory. Here's my go-to testing method. After every study session, I set the timer for 5 minutes and do a brain dump. I write the main concept I learned, 3 key details, 1 real-world example where I use it. If I can do that without looking back, I know it's stuck. If I can't, I process it again. That's the compound focus system. Input clarity, processing loops, output testing. Do this every time you study, and you'll never waste another hour pretending to learn.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like more work. And yeah, at first it is. But here's the thing. Would you rather spend 3 hours studying the right way once, or 9 hours restudying the same thing 3 times because it didn't stick? The system feels slower at first because you're being intentional. But over time, it compounds. You retain more, you study less, you perform better. That's the whole point. So here's your challenge. Tonight, pick one thing you need to study. Before you start, write down what you're learning, why it matters, and how you'll test yourself. Then study it using the system. Clear input, process every concept, test yourself at the end. Do that once and you'll feel the difference. Do it every time and you'll never study the same way again. If this helped you, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of people who study smarter, not harder. And drop a climbing emoji in the comments if you're going to try the compound focus system tonight. Let's climb.